Let's just take a look at the market performance yesterday. A flat close for the market, but generally, as I say, it has been on a weakening trend. Large cap stocks weighing down in the bourse. Large cap stocks falling off yesterday, so some pressure coming through there for the likes of Lafarge, Wapco. Just take us through where we saw the market trading yesterday.
Well, you're quite right. We had Lafarge, Wapco, we had Dangote Sugar, we had Nigeria breweries. Essentially, it was cement, stocks, sugar, beer. But one interesting thing that also happened yesterday was that in spite of the marginal drop in the market, you had some interesting activity in the banking sector. You're quite right that year to date, the banking sector has dropped by a significant percentage. But that's also because in the course of the year, there's been some uncertainty as to where exactly the policy directions are going to take the banking industry. But it's all becoming clear now as we move towards the end of the year. And there were quite a number of trades, significant trades in the banking subsector. And this is why you probably had a lot of gains yesterday in that area.
What is that an indication of when we see that those strong value in terms of high value in terms of trade going through stocks like GT Bank, First Bank and Zenith Bank, so top tier banks managing to eke marginal gains there yesterday, as you say?
I think the key thing here is analysts are beginning to look at fundamentals. Regardless of where the markets as a whole trends, you've got to keep an eye on companies with the right fundamentals, and these banks are beginning to show, particularly given the half-year results that a lot of them have posted, that the expectations are good. And I feel analysts are starting to align expectations with the most likely results they're going to have for full year. In the case of Guarantee Trust Bank,
it appears
dividends yet to be paid, possibly by Friday. And I expect that that's why we've got that amount of activity in GT Bank stocks, for instance.
Let's just talk about the opportunities in the banking sector apart from GT Bank and that dividend being declared there. I mean, just looking at one of the bullish statements coming out of traders saying that it's bye-bye Nigeria all the way, all day and all night. Would you agree with a statement like this? He's saying that, you know, given the fundamentals and the fact that we have some positive developments in the macro economy with the new finance minister and her new economic blueprint, it's really the time to be getting into Nigeria at this stage. So what stocks are you bullish on in the banking sector specifically? Well,
one thing I can say about that is, first of all, we all know what the story is about the nationalized banks. We know what the story is about the rescued banks. Indications are, if you're not going to be looking at one of the acquirers right now, you want to be looking at one of the target banks. The number of banks in the economy will reduce, and it's going to change the playing field. But one thing you're going to have is there are going to be significant opportunities for banks to contribute to the development in the economy. The trend and the activities with which I expect the National Economic Management team, led by the new finance minister, to take, there will be opportunities, and banks are going to have to play a key role in either funding those or in participating with, even if they're offshore financiers coming in. So there's a lot to look forward to in terms of activities, and those who take the positions in banks right now with a longer term view of the market are sure to be able to reap certain benefits there.
Give us some names then in what banks you see in the rescued bank space that you see have a longer term growth story post-merger.
Well, I think you just have to look at what banks are acquiring which banks. We've got the FCMB FinBank transaction possibly coming up. FinBank is trading very, very low in terms of price now. And you expect that if you are holding something like FinBank now, and then you're going to end up being a shareholder in FCMB, you'll be able to benefit out there. Another interesting combination is Sterling Bank and Equatorial Trust Bank. Now, ETB is probably the only bank still operating that's a Nigerian bank and not listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. They are the main bankers to one of the largest GSM networks, that's Globacom, and they also bank Corn Oil, which is an oil downstream trading company. Now, I can expect that with Sterling Bank taking on ETB, and I think it's going to almost be like a 60-40, 60 to Sterling, 40 to ETB partnership in the new bank to emerge. Any Sterling Bank shareholder is certainly going to benefit from that. So you start to ask yourself, is Sterling the way to go now?
At 138, a time to get
yes,
in.
It's 138. I still feel that that's one thing to look at, because really you start to ask yourself now, we've got the acquirers and we've got the target companies, and where is the best place to position? Are you going to go in at where the prices are lower and reap the benefits after the mergers, or are you going to want to take on shares from the acquirer company, the stronger ones like Access, who have the fundamentals and they're taking on Intercontinental? These are things to look at for analysts right now, and I think it's a good way to go.